How's it going, guys? Chris here, and in this video, I'm bringing you guys something definitely a little bit different. In this video, we're going to be going over how to assemble your TIE Fighter Pokéball after you're done printing it. So, let's get to it. All right, guys, so I have a lot of stuff here for this really cool build. I already have one wing fully assembled. So we're going to build one wing together, and then we're going to put both wings on the middle ball piece. So we're going to start, I'm going to put this one to the side. We're going to start by organizing all of our black pieces into piles. And then once we have that done, we'll pick this one first to work with. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to start inlaying those black panels. And then once we're done with this half, we'll do the same to the other, and then we'll glue them together. So let's start with this half here. All right, so I'm going to take some glue. And with this glue, I'm going to drop it on this box that I have here. So I'm just going to put some glue around, and you'll see why in a second. Now what we're going to do with the glue is we're going to start taking these panels, and we want to make sure that this is always facing the outside. And I'm just going to take some of the bottom surfaces here and just rub them through the glue. And now if you guys want to use a brush or if you want to dab it, you guys do whatever works for you, but this is how I'm doing it here in this video. So then I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to drop the piece into the channel that it lines up with. Oops, dropped it a little too far. Just drop that into the channel that it lines up with. And then go ahead and push each corner down and make sure that it's nice and flush with the gray outside. Now, you're going to do that for each of these pieces. So I'll do another one with you guys here. So we're going to take this guy. Just going to get some glue on all the outside edges here. And then I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to drop it into the channel. Make sure that's nice and flush. Perfect. Then we're going to do the same thing as we work our way around. So now I'm going to take this piece here. Drop that into place. Perfect. And then just, again, keep working your way around. So I'm going to finish up. I'll do one more piece, and then I'll kind of just jump to the next one over here, and we'll start assembling this one. Just going to rub that through some glue. And drop that. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing to this side now. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do the same thing. Again, making sure that those, the detailed side is on the outside. So when I push this in, we should see the detail on the outside here. So I'm just going to go around, do all these pieces. And then once I'm done with this, we'll put these two halves together. All right, so with both of our halves assembled, I'm going to have one up and one down. So if you look here, I have these two circles right here, these two circles. And then on the back side, we also have these two circles over here. So when I put that down, the circles are right here on this side. So when I put these together, I want to overlay the circles on top of the circles. So I'm just going to take a bunch of glue here, and I'm going to line the outside. And then put a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to take my two halves and just line them up and push them on together. But before it all dries, I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to lay it flat and push it onto the ground like this, so that way everything is nice and lined up. And I'm just going to make sure I push all the edges together and just hold everything nicely, wait for it to dry. So here, I'm gonna hold it this way. And then once that's done drying, our wing will be done. And then we're gonna move on to the body. And then once we're done assembling the body, we'll put the wings on the body, and our design should be complete. All right, so here's the rest of the pieces now. All right, so with the rest of the pieces ready to go, you're gonna take your clicker and put that into the clicker core. If you're not using the clicker, you're going to use the one with the stem on it. Now, this is different than my other clickers. As you can see here, there's only one side with locks. And the reason for that is the shape of these arms here. So you're going to take the side with the locks and you're going to take the top. So I already pushed in my black lines. So you guys just can go ahead, take your black lines and push those in. Once you've pushed those in, we're going to take that lock, put it into the top and twist it. And that will lock our top half to the clicker. It's all going to help for alignment. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to take our center ring and we're going to push it about halfway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our wing here and you're going to push it over the center ring and just let it sit on its side like this. Then we're going to take the other wing and then we're going to do the same thing. So with this, make sure you have them lined up right. So I actually have this lined up wrong. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I want these two dots here to be facing the front of the ball. So I'm going to have this go on this side here. I'll show you what this all looks like in just 1 second. So now that's on there, and I'm going to take this with the dots facing the front, and I'm going to push this on here. And then drop that center ring up. So now if I turn this upside down, this is what you should have. So everything is going to be nice and lined up with the wings. Then once that's in place, we can take our bottom piece and drop that on top. So now with this, the bottom piece is going to require glue, but before we glue anything together, we want to make sure everything lines up nicely. So I'm going to turn this around and have this face the camera. And now we're going to be building the ball upside down. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our clicker button and put it on the clicker stem here. If you already have the stem sticking out, just take the white button and put it on the stem. When you put this in, make sure that these white tabs are on the sides lined up with the channels here. So I'm just going to turn this. Well, I guess I could lift it up, drop it in, and push that into the button. And I now have my clicker set up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to build these like cockpit pieces here. So you're going to take, let me push these out. You're going to take these like dark gray pieces here, or whatever color you chose to print them in, these pieces, and it's going to be small, big, big, small. So if I push this into the channel here, I can now, well, I'm going to need some glue, but just to show you, I'm going to take big here, put it in the middle. I'm going to take another big one, put it in the middle. I'm going to take a small one here, put that small one in, and then I'm going to take another small one and put that small one in. So that's obviously going to require some glue. But before we do some glue, we just want to make sure we have everything lined up, right? So what I'm going to do is just repeat the process for the top. And let's just get everything fitted and understand how it gets all put together before we use any glue. So I'm going to put in another piece here. I'm going to go big, big, small, and small. Oop, knock that out. Perfect. All right, so now with all those pieces in place, we're gonna take our lock here, and you see that tab? If you look into your center ring, there is one side has a cutout and one side has a little tiny divot. The little tiny divot is for this little tiny bump out here, and the cutout is for this guy. So I'm gonna take this guy and find the cutout side, which is this side over here. And I'm then gonna drop this in and push this right in. And now my center ring drops in. And you're gonna have to like just move this around to kind of like get it lined up in a way where the click is gonna be better, but just kind of like reconfigure it, shift it around. While this is upside down, We can also take these tiny little red inserts here. This is going to be for the laser. If you guys want, you can also push in the green lasers, so whichever one you prefer, and that's the laser. But basically, once you're done with that, you've completed your TIE Fighter Pokeball build. Now, since we didn't glue the bottom in yet, our goal is to get that locked into place. So with that now in, right, if I were to turn this, everything's kind of lined up. Now, obviously, we still have to glue these pieces in as well, but now you know how the build goes. So take your time with it and make sure everything glues together nice and aligned. So we'll go through the process of using some glue right now. So I will take these pieces out. Let me take the clicker out. And I'm going to put everything back to the side. All right, so now starting from scratch again, because now you know how it's built, we can start by taking some glue here and putting it on the insides where our legs are going to touch the body. So I'll take this out, put some glue in here. Remember, we want the two gray dots here facing forward. So I'm going to push that in so the gray dots are pushing forward. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Cool. And now with glue on there, it's about to get real. Everything's going to lock together. So just make sure everything's nice and level. I'm going to put some glue on top up here. And while that's still there, I'm going to put a little bit of glue in here. And then we can go ahead and push these two halves together. So everything should now fall in together nicely. And what you can do is you can actually squeeze the top and bottom together to make sure everything stays nice and tight while it's drying. All right, so same thing. I'm going to take my button now. I'm going to push my button back in. Oop, pop that out. Sprung it too hard. All right, so now my button is nice and clicky. All right, so now we've got to rebuild these pieces over here. When you're doing these pieces, it's important to note that we want to make sure that this like cutout space is all lined up properly. If you put in any of these pieces like upside down, so like have the cutout, let's see if this fits on this side. Like if the cutout is like on top like that, it's just not going to work. So everything has to be lined up so that way the cutouts are on the bottom. And this is because that button ring has to sit on those pieces. All right, so you're just gonna take now some glue here with this all dry. I'm gonna hold this upside down. I'm gonna put some glue in here. And that glue is just gonna lock down all those pieces. And just make sure you don't get any on that button stem, otherwise this won't slide up and down. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna push these in. Gonna push in the rest of these pieces. Cool. Do the same thing with the top. Or I guess this is the bottom. Cool. All right, so now the last thing we have to do is put in our button ring. So again, just make sure you're on the right side here. And then this should just click in. And then just kind of like play around with it till you get the click you want. There you go. Nice and clicky. And with that, we have completed our TIE Fighter Pokeball build. If you guys have any questions with this build, feel free to leave them down below in the Maker World comments on YouTube or on Discord, and I'll be sure to help you guys out if you need it. And as always, thanks for downloading and happy printing.